You're listening to Speak English with Chat.
On Chat English. Welcome back to Chat English, where we learn the real English people actually use every day. Today, we are going to build a survival simulator for the most dangerous 2 minutes of your entire week. It is Monday morning, you are standing by the office coffee machine, and a coworker walks in and asks, "How was your weekend?" Your heart beats fast, your mind goes completely blank, and you panic and blurt out, "I slept." Then there is just dead silence.
I remember my first week at a new job, I used to actually hide at my desk and wait for the kitchen to be empty because I dreaded that exact question, feeling like a broken robot compared to everyone else who was chatting so easily.
By the end of this episode, you will have a simple 3-step copy-paste conversation formula to hit the ball back and sound totally natural.
I really wish I had this formula back then. It is such a specific kind of panic, isn't it? You spend years studying grammar rules, memorizing vocabulary lists, and passing exams, but then a friendly colleague simply asks about your Saturday, and all of that knowledge just evaporates.
Exactly, and it happens to almost every single learner we work with. The problem is not your English level. The problem is the framework you are using to understand the conversation. When we learn English in a classroom, we are trained to treat questions like a test. The teacher asks a question, and your job is to provide a factual, complete, and grammatically perfect answer. So, when a coworker asks what you did, your brain goes into exam mode.
That is a great metaphor. You feel like you have to give a full report. I used to literally list my activities. I would stand by the microwave and say, on Saturday, I went to the supermarket and then I did my laundry, and on Sunday, I rested. And the other person would just stare at me, politely nodding, waiting for me to finish my presentation. It was agonizing.
And that's exactly what kills the natural flow. You're treating small talk like an interrogation or a news broadcast. But native speakers do not view casual conversation that way. Native speakers treat small talk like a game of verbal tennis.
Verbal tennis, I love that. Can you break down what that actually means for someone standing in the office kitchen?
Absolutely. Think about a friendly game of tennis. The goal is not to smash the ball as hard as you can and score a point. The goal is to keep the rally going. You want to hit the ball gently over the net so the other person can hit it back. When a coworker asks, "How was your weekend?" they are just serving the ball to you. If you give a long, detailed list of your chores, you're smashing the ball out of bounds. The game stops. If you just say, "I slept," or "It was fine," you're catching the ball and putting it in your pocket. The game also stops.
Exactly. You leave the other person with nothing to work with. They have to awkwardly try to serve another ball, or they just say, well, time to get back to my desk, and walk away. And then you're left standing there feeling like you've failed the social interaction.
Yes, and that feeling of failure makes you even more nervous for the next time. So today, we're going to fix that completely. We're going to teach you how to just return the serve smoothly. And the very first step in our 3-step formula is what we call the soft opener.
The soft opener. This is about how you actually begin your answer, right? Because my instinct was always to start with, "It was good, thank you," which feels very textbook.
Exactly. "It was good, thank you" is polite, but it's a bit of a conversation ender. Instead, native speakers usually use a soft opener to downplay their weekend. Unless you jumped out of an airplane or won the lottery, you want to keep the energy relaxed. And the most common phrase we use for this is, "I ended up taking it easy."
Taking it easy. I hear that all the time, but what does that actually mean in practice? Does it literally mean sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing?
That's a great question. It can mean that, but it's actually much broader. Taking it easy just means you didn't have any stressful obligations or major plans. You might have read a book, watched a movie, gone for a walk, or yes, just slept. But instead of listing those things, you group them all together into this warm, positive phrase, "I took it easy."
I love that because it immediately removes the pressure to sound interesting. I used to feel so embarrassed if I didn't have a crazy, exciting weekend to talk about. I felt like I was being boring. But you're saying that taking it easy is a completely acceptable, even positive answer.
Exactly. In our busy modern world, telling someone you took it easy is actually a great thing. People will usually respond with, "Oh, nice, good for you." It sets a very calm tone. Let's practice this, Dan. Imagine I'm your coworker pouring coffee. Hey, Dan, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I mostly just took it easy.
Perfect. Notice how natural that sounds. You did not give me a schedule, you just give me a vibe. Now, let us add a really fantastic grammar structure that native speakers use constantly when they use a soft opener. We use it to show a contrast between what we planned to do and what we actually did. It is a combination of the past continuous and the simple past.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like saying I was going to do something, but I did something else.
Exactly. We say I was hoping to or I was planning to, followed by but I ended up. For example, I was hoping to go hiking, but I ended up just taking it easy at home.
That is such a powerful structure. I was hoping to go hiking, but I ended up just taking it easy. It tells a tiny story. It gives the other person a little bit of personality and context without being a boring list of facts.
Yes, it is the perfect length for a tennis return. Let us look at another very natural vocabulary phrase you can use with this structure. Instead of saying you did chores or cleaned your house, you can say, "I caught up on some things."
Caught up on. Is that the same as catching up with a friend? Because I know if I haven't seen someone in a while, we grab coffee to catch up.
That is a brilliant distinction. No, they are slightly different. You catch up with a person, meaning you share news about your lives, but you catch up on a task or an activity. It means you were behind on something and you used your weekend to get back to normal. You can catch up on sleep, you can catch up on laundry, or you can even catch up on your favorite TV show.
Exactly. I feel like my entire adult life is just trying to catch up on sleep and emails. So if I use our new grammar structure, I could say, I was planning to go into the city, but I ended up catching up on some sleep.
That is a flawless native level sentence. If a learner said that to me on a Monday morning, I would be incredibly impressed. It sounds so much warmer than "I slept." It shows you understand the rhythm of casual English. Let us do one more phrase for the soft opener before we move to step 2. What if your previous week at work was incredibly stressful and your weekend was all about recovering?
I would probably say something like, I needed to relax. But again, that sounds a bit stiff.
It does. A much more natural alternative is the phrasal verb to wind down. To wind down means to slowly reduce your stress and energy levels, like a machine turning off gradually.
Oh, I love that imagery. Winding down, like a clock slowly ticking slower and slower. So I could say, if Friday was so crazy, I just used the weekend to wind down.
Exactly. So now you have 3 fantastic native sounding options for your soft opener. You can take it easy, you can catch up on things, or you can wind down. This is the first half of your verbal tennis swing. You have successfully received the ball without panicking. But the game is not over. If you stop there, the silence will still come.
This is the part where I always used to get stuck. I would give my nice short answer, and then I would smile at them. And then they would smile at me, and then we would just stare at the coffee machine. It's the worst feeling in the world.
That brings us perfectly to step 2, the pivot and pass. If conversation is verbal tennis, step 2 is where you actually swing your racket and hit the ball back over the net to your coworker. You have to take the spotlight off yourself and shine it back on them.
And the easiest way to do that is just to ask a question, right? But what question should we ask? Because my default was always just to say, and you, which now that I think about it, sounds a little bit like a robot. I am fine, and you?
Yes, and you is grammatically correct, but it lacks warmth. It's what you say to a cashier at the grocery store when they ask how you are. For a coworker, you want something a bit more conversational. The most common and natural pivot is simply, "What about you?"
What about you? It flows so much better. It connects the two sentences together nicely.
It really does. But here's the secret that separates textbook English from natural English. It's not just the words, it's the intonation, it's the music of the sentence. If your voice goes down at the end, it sounds flat and a bit aggressive. Listen to this. "What about you?" It sounds like I'm accusing you of something.
Wow, yes, it does. It sounds like a detective asking for my alibi. Where were you on Saturday night? What about you?
Exactly. To make it friendly, your voice needs to lift slightly at the end. What about you? It's a gentle toss of the ball. Let us try adding a second, slightly more advanced phrase you can use. Instead of just asking what they did, you can say, "Did you get up to anything fun?"
Get up to. That's a very native phrase. It basically just means do, right? Like, did you do anything fun?
Exactly. Get up to is just a casual, friendly way of asking about someone's activities. Did you get up to anything fun this weekend? Or did you get up to much? It invites them to share their own story, which takes all the pressure completely off your shoulders.
This is such a relief to realize. The goal of Monday morning small talk is not to prove how amazing your English is by giving a long speech. The goal is actually to get the other person talking about themselves as quickly as possible. People love talking about their own weekends. Once you pass the ball back to them, you can just nod, listen, and relax.
That is the ultimate secret of small talk in any language. Be a good passer. So before we combine these steps in our simulator, I want to do a quick pause and reply practice with you, our listener. This is where you actually train your mouth to use the new phrases. You cannot just listen to us, you have to feel the words in your own jaw.
Exactly. Active practice is the only way to beat the panic. When the pressure is on, your mouth will only remember what it has physically practiced out loud. And if you are enjoying this natural, active way of learning English, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss our real-life conversation breakdowns. We build these practices in every single episode.
So here's how the pause and reply works. I'm going to play the role of your coworker. I'm going to ask about your weekend. Your goal is to use the soft opener, take it easy, and then immediately use the pivot, what about you, with that nice upward intonation. I will pause for 3 seconds. I want you to literally speak out loud wherever you are. Even if you're on a train, just whisper it. Ready? Here we go. Hey, good morning. How was your weekend? 3, 2, 1. The best reply would be, I mostly just took it easy. What about you?
Let us do one more. This time, I want you to use the slightly longer grammar structure we learned. Start with, I was hoping to go out, but, and then use the vocabulary catch up on some sleep. Then finish with our advanced pivot, did you get up to anything fun? This is a beautifully complex but natural string of English. Let us try it.
All right, here's the setup. I'm walking into the break room, pouring my tea, and I look over at you. Hey, how was your weekend? 3, 2, 1. The perfect reply would be, I was hoping to go out, but I ended up catching up on some sleep. Did you get up to anything fun?
If you said that out loud, I want you to take a moment and realize how incredibly natural you just sounded. That is not beginner English. That is native level conversational flow. You painted a picture, you explained a change of plans, and you handed the conversation smoothly back to your partner. It's brilliant.
It really is. And notice how doing that takes away the awkward silence. You don't have to stand there staring at each other because you've given them a specific question to answer. Now, we've covered step 1, the soft opener, and step 2, the pivot and pass, but what happens when they hit the ball back to you?
This is the scary part. What if they tell me about their weekend and then the ball is back in my court? What's step 3?
Step 3 is the eject button, or more politely, the wrap-up. We have to remember the context of Monday morning small talk. You're at work. You both have jobs to do. You're not at a cafe for a 2-hour lunch. The conversation is only supposed to last about 60 to 90 seconds. Once you've exchanged 1 or 2 volleys, it's time to end the game gracefully.
This is so important. I used to get trapped in conversations because I thought it was rude to walk away. I would stand there listening to a coworker talk about their cat for 15 minutes while my coffee got completely cold, just because I didn't know the right English words to excuse myself.
Exactly. And again, textbook English fails us here. You cannot just say, goodbye, I'm going to my desk now. It's too blunt. You need a transition phrase that signals the conversation is ending, followed by a polite excuse. The magic word that native speakers use to signal the end of a chat is anyway.
Anyway, it's such a powerful little word. It acts like a steering wheel, turning the conversation away from the weekend and back towards work.
Yes, but again, intonation is everything. You drag the word out slightly, and you pair it with a physical action, like picking up your coffee mug or taking half a step back. Anyway, it sends a gentle subconscious signal to the other person that you're preparing to leave.
That's a great physical tip. Picking up the mug while saying it, it makes the transition feel very organic. So what comes right after anyway?
You follow it with a soft obligation. You don't say, I must work. You say, I should probably get going, or I'd better get back to my desk. The words probably and better soften the exit. It makes it sound like you want to keep talking to them, but your duties are pulling you away.
Let me put that together. Anyway, I should probably get back to my desk. Wow, that feels so much safer than just saying bye. It blames the work, not the person. You were basically saying, you are fascinating, but my boss needs me.
Exactly. It is the perfect polite escape. You can also use, anyway, I will let you get to it, which is a wonderful phrase that implies you are leaving because you respect their busy schedule. It's a very generous way to end a conversation.
I will let you get to it. I love that. It makes you sound so considerate. You were doing them a favor by walking away. This three-step formula is honestly life-changing for office survival. Soft opener, pivot and pass, and the anyway wrap-up.
Now, it is time for the ultimate test. It is time for the office simulator. We are going to put all three steps together into one continuous, real-time role play. This is the emotional peak of our practice today. We are going to build the environment around you right now. I want you to close your eyes, unless you are driving, of course.
Let us set the scene. Listen to the background. You can hear the hum of the office refrigerator. You hear the coffee machine dripping. You hear phones ringing softly down the hall. It's Monday morning. You're standing in the kitchen. You are holding your mug.
I'm Sarah, your friendly but slightly talkative coworker. I'm walking into the kitchen right now. I'm going to say hello and ask about your weekend. I want you to reply out loud using our formula. Use the soft opener, I took it easy, then use the pivot, what about you? When I answer, I will talk for a moment, and then I will pause. When I pause, I want you to use the wrap-up. Anyway, I should probably get back to my desk.
You are going to do great. Take a deep breath. You have the tools. You know exactly how to hit the ball back. Here comes Sarah.
Oh, hey, good morning. Man, I really need this coffee today. How was your weekend? 3, 2, 1.
You should be saying your soft opener and your pivot right now. I mostly took it easy. What about you? Let's hear Sarah's response.
Oh, it was incredibly busy. We took the kids to a soccer tournament all day Saturday, and then Sunday was just catching up on chores. I feel like I need another weekend just to recover from the weekend, but you know how it goes. 3, 2, 1.
This is your moment. Use the wrap-up. Anyway, I should probably get back to my desk.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Have a great morning. Catch you later.
And scene. You did it. You successfully survived the Monday morning coffee machine trap. You did not freeze, you did not sound like a robot, and you did not get stuck there for 20 minutes. How does that feel?
If you practice that out loud with us, you should feel a massive sense of relief and empowerment right now. You just took control of an unpredictable social situation using natural, confident English. You successfully played a full round of verbal tennis.
Exactly. And the beautiful thing about this framework is that you can use it every single Monday for the rest of your career. It never expires. You can change the vocabulary slightly. Maybe next week you say you wound down instead of took it easy, but the structure remains exactly the same. Receive the ball softly, pass it back, and then politely leave the court.
It completely removes the anxiety of small talk because you realize you do not need to be a brilliant storyteller to have a good conversation. You just need to be a polite participant. You don't have to worry about your grammar being absolutely flawless because you're keeping your sentences short and focused on the other person.
I think my biggest takeaway from all of this is that native speakers are not judging your English during small talk. They're just looking for a moment of human connection before the stressful workday begins. When you ask them, "Did you get up to anything fun?" you're giving them a gift. You're showing interest in their life.
That's a wonderful way to look at it. Small talk is not an English exam. It's a relationship building tool. And now you have the exact blueprint to build those relationships without the panic. You have your soft openers. You understand the past continuous structure to tell a tiny story. You have your friendly upward intonation for the pivot. And you have your polite, anyway, wrap up.
You are completely, fully equipped. The only thing left to do is to take this out into the real world.
Exactly. We want to challenge you to use this exact routine at your workplace, your university, or even with a neighbor this coming Monday. Don't wait until you feel 100% ready because confidence comes from actually doing it. And to help you get started right now, we have a question for you to answer down below.
We want you to practice our target grammar structure right now in the comments. The question is, what is your favorite way to relax on a Sunday? We want you to tell us using the phrase, "I usually end up," followed by an ing verb. For example, you could write, "I usually end up watching old movies," or "I usually end up baking cookies."
We read all of your comments, and writing it down is a fantastic way to lock that phrase into your memory so it is ready on your tongue for next Monday.
And now that you know how to handle the beginning and end of casual small talk, you might be wondering how to survive when the conversation actually keeps going. If you want to master the art of keeping a conversation alive without awkward pauses, click the video on your screen right now to learn our top 3 phrases for deep listening.
Thank you so much for practicing with us today. Keep playing verbal tennis, keep taking those small steps forward, and we will see you in the next episode.